Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mel. It's my beautiful wife, Vera. This is our channel. Welcome to our channel, Obim Marriage. And basically, we just show you guys our life and allow you to see how we interact with each other. But we also, at times like this, will go through some controversial topics or just some things we talk about around the house with each other. And we just got an interesting way of dealing with things and how we talk about things together, wouldn't you say?
For the most part.
So, just a fair warning. It may seem like we are at each other's throats or don't get along with whatever we're talking about. But honestly, we just like to go through each topic, talk about things thoroughly, and ultimately we have an understanding at the end. So,
when I make my point, it doesn't matter if you're related to me or not. I'm going all the way. Like I was in debate in high school, so that mindset is still there.
Yeah.
So husband, mother, daughter, I don't care. If I'm gonna make my point, I'm gonna go the way in a debate atmosphere, not
debate atmosphere. So, but either way it goes, if you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit comment. Everybody's a free conversation. Feel free to say whatever you would like in the comment section below. But let's get right into it. The topic today we're going to talk about, sweetheart, is Roe versus Wade. They have leaked.
What? What was that? You don't think it was leaked?
No, I mean, it was leaked, but it's like out of nowhere. Like, how does something like that massive get leaked? That they are looking to overturn this. So we're not going to come across like we're experts on this. You know, we just giving our opinion based on what we see in the news or social media, whatever the case may be. But we did do a little research on this, and I thought it'd be cool to just give a little background. What you think?
Sure.
All right. So when it comes to Roe v. Wade, it was from 1973, and this is according to Wikipedia. So for whatever it's worth,
you used Wikipedia.
I'm just saying. I mean, just reading the synopsis. You know, Roe v. Wade in 1973 was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court in which the court ruled that the Constitution of the United States protects pregnant a woman's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government restriction. So basically, this case was between a lady by the name of Norma McCorvey, and they called her Jane Roe, who in 1969 became pregnant with her third child. McCorvey wanted an abortion, but lived in Texas. Deep in the heart of Texas.
That's the problem right there.
And that's where we reside as well. Just wanted to put that out there. But she went against, who did she go against? It doesn't show, right? Anyway, this woman wants.
I think Wade was a prosecutor.
Wade was a prosecutor.
Henry Wade. I think it was a district.
There we go. Henry
prosecutor.
Yes.
Or attorney. District attorney, I'm sorry.
Right. And I think she was going through her third child, and she just wanted the opportunity to do what she wanted to do with her body. So, babe, I've been talking a lot. What's your first thoughts on that history of it and the fact that this is possibly being overturned?
So for me, the Roe case, there's a separation between her and the case, because her as like a woman, I think is a bunch of crap, because she really, like later on in life, I didn't care for her. Like she turned into something else. So the case itself, I'm talking about, not the woman, because we could talk about the woman all day and I'm not a fan of her. But okay, the right to have an abortion, to me, I stand for, because I do think the woman should choose what to do with her body, because I have a hard time understanding why it's okay for the government to tell me what to do with my uterus. So for that, just in a broad sense, I think Roe v. Wade should stand, because I don't think the government should have a say-so in what I do with my uterus. Now, granted, it doesn't necessarily give you the right to have an abortion. It gives you the right to have an abortion in the first trimester, because the second and third trimester, there's different rules for that. But in the general sense, yes, once the child is able to live on their own without you, then I do think you should not have the option to abort it on certain circumstances. But in the very beginning of when they can't even survive on their own, yeah, I would want to make that choice myself.
Respect that. My thing is, this conversation has been so broad and so extensive for so long. I think both sides of the argument, people who are pro-life and people who are pro-choice, I think need to add a third degree, third department, I would say, because pro-choice is different than what I think people are.
What do you mean?
I think people are pro-death, pro-killing. I think pro-choice is what I am, because I'm a Christian. I believe in the Lord Savior Jesus Christ.
Oh God, we're gonna pull the Christian card.
I believe Jesus give us all, and God give us all choices to make our own decisions and live to the outcomes, whatever they may be.
Right.
Live with those outcomes. I don't see that's what most people who are pro-abortion saying. They saying, I want to be able to kill my babies.
Oh my God.
I think that's what they saying.
What it is.
I'm being honest. Like, what I'm saying is, I'm going to speak for myself. I am pro-choice because I'm the same way when it comes to anything else regarding our bodies. So we just come out of this whole vaccination thing for COVID. I'm somebody who was not anti-vax, but I'm anti-vax for me and mine. But she can make her own decisions as well. But so I can't be a hypocrite when it comes to this. You know, am I against abortion? Yes, because I believe as a Christian as well that we were made to be fruitful and multiply. It's the instruction that God gave Adam and Eve, and that still stands to this day. Be fruitful and multiply. And if anything else, I think abortion is another continued way to stop the flow of life. It's another way that Satan comes to kill, steal, destroy. So I got so much stuff we can go. I'm gonna turn.
We can't make. Okay, see, that's the thing with you Christian people. We can't make this a God Satan thing. I just sometimes I just need us to talk, like step down from heaven a little bit and come to earth in a realistic situation and talk from that perspective, because it's hard for me to get behind the whole like abortion is Satan's way of trying to reduce population or whatever the case might be. Abortion is just a choice for me to decide what to do with my future. Because when I give birth to this child, if I don't want the child, right, and I keep it because the government won't allow me to get rid of it, is the government going to help me take care of the child? Because last time I heard, Section 8 doesn't get you nice housing. Is it going to pay for daycare?
Section 8, I know people living well in Section 8, paying $25 a month.
Okay, so for the other people, it doesn't pay for daycare. Food stamps only pays for food. WIC only pays for child-related things. Who's paying for daycare? Who's paying my car note? I have to keep a job. Like, that's my issue with people that say don't get an abortion. Let's talk about what happens after the child is here. Because there's a lot of people having children that should not be having children. Like,
that's the point, sweetheart. If you are, women are avoiding themselves of responsibility. That's the whole point of this. They don't want to be responsible before they have sex, during, or after. Because you can have responsibility of getting an IUD, some type of birth control beforehand. During, you can force a man to wear a condom, 2 of them if you think he just maybe that fertile. And then after, you got to suffer the consequence of whatever things or choices you made throughout the process. And I think right now, this Roe v. Wade was a response originally to the sexual revolution of the 70s. I'm just giving my opinion about that. I don't know for a fact. I think this is the new sexual revolution that we're in right now, where women feel liberated to be whoever they want to be. But women liberation and the women empowerment looks just like this. We can do whatever we want to do and don't suffer any consequences.
You don't think having an abortion is a consequence?
No. Women they out there marching and protesting, and in the midst of that protest are saying, we're going to kill I had 10, I'm going to keep killing them. They are celebrating the fact that they going to keep killing their kids.
Where does he come up with this
stuff? I can show you video.
Ladies, if you get pregnant, run on down to the abortion clinic and have that little bastard suck my
One person, one group that said it.
She said, and then everybody in the march
everybody in the march celebrates, and they don't even hear what's being said, and they just celebrate. That's how a march goes.
But the point is, and that's why I agree that they should strike this down right now, not in totality, but to modernize it.
To what?
Some got to change, some got to give, because it's gone too far. I think maybe they should bring it down from a government, federal level to the state level.
The state of Texas, you don't want them making rules for anything.
Deep in I'm just saying, we already making our rules. So
that's the problem. You really want the state of Texas to be in charge of what happens within your home?
I think you got a better chance to get a better pulse of that particular city or state than to make it a broad issue. Like, yes, in Texas, more people are pro-life because most people are conservative here.
Mm-hmm.
New York, I'm pretty sure more people are pro, abortion or pro-choice, whatever the case may be. I'm saying that's a better way to make it legislated and to make it best for everybody within that. I just think we've gone too far with it. Something has to be revamped.
Many things you said that I completely disagree with, because I don't care for the state of Texas specifically making the rules of what to do in the household. I don't. But here's the thing with abortion for me, because I've had enough friends that have had abortions. It's not an easy choice. It's very easy for you to keep the baby and just give it up for adoption at the end. That's an easier way to look at things. But to know that you are responsible for this child being dead, right? No longer on this earth, that lives with you forever. Like, even as a grown adult, you're still going to think about, did I make the right decision? Did I not? Like, it's not that easy to just choose to have an abortion.
I agree. And that's what they should think about before they put themselves in a position to get pregnant in an unwanted pregnancy. So I'm saying, what happens, and this is the thing, you can say that now, but most of these women are getting these women's empowerment groups that tell them it's okay. It's okay. We all been now.
Honey pie, that's not the same thing.
I'm telling you, they don't have no guilt.
What?
They are in these groups telling them they shouldn't feel the guilt.
Honey, it doesn't mean that you don't have guilt because other women are empathizing with you and trying to help you through it. What's the better option? To tell you, oh, what you did was a bunch of crap and you shouldn't have done it? Do you want those women to be coming hard on the girl getting an abortion? That would be better. Yes.
You know why?
Why?
Because it's equality. When a man get a woman pregnant, what do they say? You should have thought about that before you get put. We got every reprimandment to give a man, but we don't got to give it a woman. And I'm saying equality means you get the good parts and the bad.
There's no such thing as equality.
Tell them that. That's what I'm saying. I agree. Tell them that.
Abortion is a consequence. They're not going scot-free. If you realistically, especially for those of us that lived in a college campus, I don't think one bad mistake of you choosing to go out and get drunk and have sex without protection ends up with a baby means that you have to now keep the baby for life when you already know that you're not in the right state to even take care of yourself. You don't have a good home to bring that child into. You don't have the finances to take care of the child. You don't have the emotional and mental stability to be a parent. So why should I now bring the child? Come, don't say that. Do not say that.
You shouldn't be out here smashing.
No.
Seriously, that should be,
what
honestly, that should be the topic of conversation more than anything. That should be topic of conversation. If you can't afford to pay the costs, to be the boss.
This is not a song.
I don't know. Don't pull the thing out unless you're ready to bang out. Like, the thing is, you can't afford it. So what you doing it for? It's something that come with that.
Be realistic.
I'm being realistic.
No, being realistic.
The reality is, whatever you do, you face the consequences.
But should that consequence then cost you your entire future?
Yes.
And put the child in potential harm? Because think about all the cases we watch of these idiots being mothers and then letting their boyfriends sleep with their kids. What is that stupid show that we watch? 90 Day, Love After Lockup, where this girl has 3 girls, all under the age of 11 probably. And you take this man that just came out of prison, been in prison for a long time, over 10 years, move him into your home, and now he has free access to your daughters. And before you know it, girls like that will end up on TV where it turns out that the man has been raping her child. Women like that can't even make good decisions with the children they have now should not be bringing in more children. And that's why I feel like if you know you can't take care of your child and you know you don't have the right home for the child, abortion is a better option for that child than to bring the child into the world and ends up in all kinds of situations that we've seen. So that's one issue I have with abortion is you're taking women that already assess their life. They know they're not in the right situation to bring a child in. They're taking responsibility by choosing to have an abortion. That is taking responsibility. And on top of that, there's consequences because you have to live with it for the rest of your life. And I guarantee you, there's no woman that's had an abortion that doesn't think about that child that they left, that they gave up. They think about them all the time. That is consequences.
It's consequence, but I'm telling you, they living in a day where it really don't matter because the main consequences you feel at times, the pressure from the outside world, you can go in all day by yourself feeling it, but the rest of the world accepts you for who you are, and it just it's no divide. That's what I was about to say. We need to create a divide. I don't mind that lady getting out and having 3 babies and let that man come over because nobody want her anyway. They're in the same boat. I keep trying to tell you, but women having kids is the same thing as a man going to jail. It's the same way, and the rest of the world review the same way. So why not they have each other? Because nobody else wants them.
Because the children that are in that situation is who we're fighting for.
Oh, now you care about kids. You don't care about kids when they
get the entire hell.
The kids down in the womb, you don't care about them. Why you care about when they get?
But they don't have life. There's a difference to me. It's hard to explain because for me, the child in the womb at 6 weeks old cannot survive on their own. So there's no future that I'm saying, oh, we're killing them off. No, we're getting rid of them because we can't take care of them. Compared to the 6-year-old girl in life right now, living in the world that her mother is a piece of garbage. And so now this 6-year-old has a horrible life and a future and a downstream impact for her children's children that will suffer from what her mother has put her in. That's the one I care about. So I'm not saying I don't care about kids. Obviously not. I'm just saying I think we should let women decide what to do. Now, there is a caveat for me when it comes to abortion, which is the parent, the father. I do think what I would rather have is a world where if the guy is willing to take responsibility for the child after that child is born, then the woman should not be allowed to abort the child. So other than rape, incest, and all those other 1% situations, and just a regular girl meets guy, has sex, gets pregnant, I do think that the guy should have a say because it's also his child. So if we can have a world where the guy gets to have a say, he signs over that he's going to take care of the child and it's his responsibility, then she should be required to give birth to the child and hand the child over to the dad. That's the only exception that I would say you should force a woman to keep a child. Other than that, hell no, absolutely not. I think women should have a say with what goes on in the uterus. What's going to happen one day when the government comes into my household and tell me how to raise my children? Then we're all going to say the government doesn't have a right to do that. Well, isn't that the same thing as what they have a right to do within my body?
I mean, that's the common ground you and I have, so we won't ever argue on that. Definitely, other common ground, definitely the other point you made about the man having a right to, have his own rights. Because this thing, how we go from a night of passion together to all of a sudden now you can make decisions with our future, with my future, just because we had a night of passion. We both went into this thing together, think with the same thing in mind, a nut, and now all of a sudden my future is in your hands. I don't like that. But let's bring it home a little bit to something closer to our home, really my home, the Black community. Because
why is that your home and not my home?
You from over there.
What is over there?
But okay, so I want to introduce you to a name that you may not know about, but a lot of people out there may know, may not know. Her name is Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger is one of the founders of Planned Parenthood.
I need a drink for this conversation.
Margaret Sanger is also a high-ranking official in the KKK, or she was.
Oh my God, we're gonna compare the Planned Parenthood to the KKK? Really?
No, we're not. All I'm going to say is you put 2 and 2 together. Where are majority of the Planned Parenthoods located? In the hood, in the Black neighborhood.
Everywhere, every country, every city.
Every city.
Every state.
But the majority of them are in the hood where they have rain and free access to Negroes. All I'm saying is the Black community been at 12% for the last 40 years. And it's a reason why. A huge reason is abortion. And we kill ourselves more than anything.
My eyes is going to hurt.
We ain't growing at all. I'm going to say it, and everybody out there, you know it's true, just don't want to hear it. This lady had a plan and a scheme to put these facilities and continue to kill off black people. She had to find a roundabout way to do it because they were putting an end to what KKK was doing. So she found a roundabout way, which is through Planned Parenthood. Somebody out there know I'm telling the truth.
First, the hell off. What? I'm sorry. I love Planned Parenthood. Dear to my heart. I thought about volunteering there once before. So I can't do the whole Planned Parenthood KKK thing. Planned Parenthood is a lot more than abortion. And I know you have your whole stats of how they make money off of abortion. BS. I don't care. Planned Parenthood is there for those that the regular medical world isn't there for. So transgendered, when they need, estrogen or, hormones or whatever the case might be, Planned Parenthood is there for just a regular girl that doesn't have enough money to afford insurance. So if you think about the people working and making minimum wage and can't afford insurance, Planned Parenthood will put you on birth control for free. Planned Parenthood is more than killing off babies. And on top of that, Planned Parenthood, when you come in to have an abortion, and trust me, I've taken enough friends there, you can't make the decision right there and be like, okay, I want to have an abortion today, and they just freely give it to you. No, they ask you a ton of questions. Some locations, I think it depends on the state, you can't sign up today and have an abortion today. You have to wait a certain amount of time. Virginia, I believe, is at least a day or 3 days. I can't remember. They take steps to educate you on your options. They take steps to make sure that you are not making a spontaneous decision and you're really thinking about it. So if they were really all about killing babies, then when you walk in the door and you say you want an abortion, they're just going to give it to you. They don't do that.
Yeah, they want you to be an educated murderer. They want you to know
the entire hell.
They want you to know what you're doing before you kill. They want you to know everything you do before you commit to this murder.
Oh my gosh. Planned Parenthood is a great organization, and there's a reason why they exist. And because of things like this, where the Supreme Court is trying to strike things down that really benefits a massive community, that's why people like Planned Parenthood exist, because they're a whole lot more than killing children. Because on top of that, let's talk about who's going to take care of all of our foster systems and group homes that are a mess right now. Let's talk about that, because you guys keep wanting to bring babies into this world, right? Even though the mother doesn't want it. And then the mother gives birth to the child, gives them to foster care or whatever. And these children are turning out worse because they're getting molested and hurt and abused.
How is that worse than dead?
If you were dead, you wouldn't be here to know what else is here.
But you got an opportunity to overcome that and become something great. Yes, you do.
And how many of the people that went through group homes and foster care turned out great? You might have had a great solution in the sense of at the end, you made money, you're successful, blah, blah, blah. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, are you great? Or did all that abuse that you went through still have a hold on you?
I went through a 2-parent household. I came out mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It don't matter. You're going to face some stuff. You're going to face some stuff. But I'd rather be here to say I did it and see if we can overcome it. Yes, I agree. There's something that can be done to the foster care system and adoption care system, whatever it's called, overall, so kids can turn out better. But you don't talk about one problem, to find a solution to another. You don't make a whole another problem to find a solution to a bigger problem. I mean, to a smaller problem, I should say.
It's not a smaller problem.
Abortion is way a bigger problem than
no, it's not.
Damn,
it's the same. It's the same. When you start having 12-year-old Black boys adopted at the same rate that you have little newborn babies adopted, then you can say it's not a problem. But the reason why a ton of foster care is filled and we don't have enough home for them is because once you reach a certain age, like teenage age, and when you are a boy, you don't get adopted as quickly as a cute little 6-week-old baby. So when you fix the problem that we have right now in our foster care situation, then you can try and take down the whole abortion world. But you can't take away the option for the abortion and not fix the current children that are living and going through hell.
The issue with the issue with the foster care and the adoption, the true nature of the issue is the same issue that it is with abortion. Women taking responsibility. If they be more observant or more cautious with the men they sleep with or with them getting pregnant altogether, then they wouldn't be in this situation. Kids won't be dead, and they won't be in the foster care.
I'll give you half agreement on that one. Half agreement, because I don't think it's fair to say the women when it took two people to make that child. So we can't say the issue is the women. What happened to the man after he got her pregnant? Is he sitting there trying to give her support and take care of the baby? No, he goes on his merry way and can have his own family and forget all about the woman and the child that they made.
So you saying there's a lot of women out here just getting raped all over the world? And
no, I'm saying if you're going to place the blame on women, I need you to also take accountability and of the men.
I think we've had enough time for men to take responsibility.
And they haven't stepped up yet.
This is the thing. You think these men want abortions?
Do you think this man want to keep the children? Because if they did, they'll go into the court system and fight for their child that is in foster care and take them out of foster care and put them in a home.
But you can't have it both ways. So women saying it's my body, my uterus, and all this stuff, and they saying that men are trying to control what women do. If men were so pro-abortion and didn't want to take care of our children, this will not be getting overturned.
I don't think
we'll be pushing for this to keep going.
I don't think it's a gender thing. I think it's very individual thing.
It's 100% a gender thing.
It's not a gender thing. You made it women's fault. You said it was a woman's fault for how abortions and adoptions are going right now. Where are the men? There's got to be something to be said. I do think that there are a ton more. Majority of men out there, regardless of the race, want their children. They want to be fathers. They want to take care of their children. However, for the children that are in our foster care system, let's not just blame the woman for laying there and spreading it wide and having those children. Let's also blame the men that disappeared after she spread it wide.
Let's be honest, babe. A large portion, not all, a large portion of these women who are having multiple abortions, a lot of them are having multiple partners as well.
A lot of them are also married and already have children and know they can't take care of those children. That's why they want to have an abortion, aka Jane Roe. That's the reason why she wanted an abortion. She was already married, already had kids. I don't know if she was married or not, but she already had 2 kids prior.
I respect Jane Roe. I respect women, especially outside of America. It's higher percentage of women who are married and choose abortion to not to not have further kids. I get that. I'm talking about when it comes to the women who are having multiple partners. You saying, what about the man? What about the men? How they supposed to know? Most of them don't. Most of the women don't know who their man, their baby daddy is. And that's part of the reason why they choose to do an abortion or give it up for adoption.
That's a small segment.
It ain't no small segment. Maury went on for 20 years. Maury been on for 20 years. Paternity court been going on for 10, 15 years. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't gonna never run out of material. You know I ain't lying.
I think that there is, when I was in college, I did the research on this. So I'm sure the numbers have changed. But what is shocking about abortion is there's a lot of married couples that are choosing abortion more than the single drunk girl in college that went and got an abortion. Because a lot of times those drunk girls can't afford it. Abortion is not cheap. It's not cheap. You got to pay a whole lot of money. I think it's $5,000. The last time I went to Planned Parenthood for a friend of mine, she came up with $5,000. Was it 5,000 or 500? Maybe it was 500. I think it was 500. I'm sorry, 500. But for a broke girl like she was, where she barely had a job, and yet she had to come up with $500. That's not cheap. So a lot of times the people that are having this abortion are either the man that got them pregnant, giving them the money to go have the abortion, or it's married people that just don't want to have any more kids.
I don't see a lot of married couples out there protesting, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because they got better things to do than to stand on the street and protest. That's why. Not because they're not the ones at the clinic.
All right, babe. What's your final thoughts on this? Do you think it should be overturned or what?
I don't think it should be overturned. I think it should stand as it is. I don't understand why we would want to put any more control on what women do with their bodies, especially by people that have never had abortions before. So I don't think it should be overturned. And I don't think the states should individually be deciding on what happens, because states like Texas will end up having a bunch of women that can't have an abortion when they need to.
I'm gonna need you to start rolling your eyes, come to Texas if you live here. Just so you know. Anyway, I would say I definitely think that it should be revamped. I don't think it should be taken off the board altogether. It should be revamped and more modernized, even though the 70s is not that far long ago. But it should be modernized, and it should include men being able to financially abort. in the same token. So, women, if you really want equality, if you really want this abortion rule to be equal for all, I need y'all out there marching for men too.
What? Wait, what? What?
You said the same thing.
Women should be marching for men?
If it's about abortion, if you're really for abortion, you should be fighting for both parties to be able to alleviate any responsibility if they want.
How about men show up and march for what? Why is it that, seriously, every time there's a march going on, it's always a lot more women marching. These men, if you guys really want to keep your children and have rights to your children and whatnot, why don't you all start a march? Why don't we see you guys out there starting a march? Don't you think it would attract a whole lot of attention if there was 5,000 men down Manhattan marching and saying that they want their parental rights back, rather than having these women be able to abort a child without their permission? Don't you think it would get a whole lot more attention to see a whole bunch of men standing up for what they want?
No, it won't. We just said earlier, men will be looked at and laughed at and say, boy, if you go to work, y'all, and we don't want to miss work, first of all, but they're going to tell us go to work, stop complaining and all that stuff. Women, y'all just so disorderly and y'all just worried about complaining all the time, want to fix stuff all the time, instead of you want to actually just want to change stuff for your favor. You don't really want to fix stuff for the collective. I always say this. You want to fix stuff for your favor, but if it's going to be some consequences to come with your favor. But y'all don't want to face that either. But at the end of the day, I think this is something to be seen. I think it's gonna be cool to see what happens. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just happy they're willing to shake up some stuff, So I ain't saying they got to shake this up, but the fact that they willing to shake up things that's been going on in the past and realize we have to modernize some old tactics, I'm with that. All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Appreciate you for joining us. We'll see you guys next time.
Hi guys, it's Vera and Mel. Check out our new channel filled with lots of dating content, marriage information. As we start this new journey, we'd love to share it with you and also get your input, your advice, and also learn from you. We have lots of fun content that will be helpful for others. So check out our new channel and let us know what you think. We'll love to hear from you. Talk to you later.